Did you know your cat may not love you as much as you think? You're probably doing everything right, providing food, shelter, and playtime. But what if their actions are telling you something entirely different? Despite our best efforts to bond, some signs suggest that our cats might not feel the same way we do about them. Imagine this. After a long day, you come home and excitedly call your cat's name, ready for some cuddles. But instead of rushing over to greet you, they barely glance in your direction and continue napping. Or maybe you try to pet them, but they turn away or even swat your hand away. It's a confusing moment. After all, you've given them everything they need, so why don't they seem to want your attention? It can feel like a punch to the gut when your furry friend doesn't reciprocate the affection you so freely give. For many of us, our cats are more than just pets, they're family. We share our lives with them, form emotional bonds, and trust that they feel the same connection. But understanding your cat's true feelings is crucial for building a deeper, more meaningful relationship. In this video, we're going to explore 5 signs that might indicate your cat doesn't love you as much as you thought. Recognizing these signs doesn't mean your cat doesn't care about you. It just means they communicate their emotions differently. By understanding these subtle cues, you can strengthen your bond and ensure a healthier, happier relationship with your feline companion. In this video, we're diving into 5 surprising signs that may indicate your cat doesn't love you as much as you think. You might believe that your cat's just being a typical feline, but sometimes their actions suggest otherwise. These signs aren't necessarily signs of hatred or dislike. They're simply a way for cats to express their emotions in their own unique way. Understanding these behaviors will help you read your cat better and adjust how you interact with them. So, why do these signs matter? Well, recognizing when your cat isn't feeling as affectionate as you hoped can be a game changer in your relationship. It's about understanding their true feelings, which in turn allows you to strengthen your bond, improve communication, and ensure they're comfortable. Cats are notoriously independent creatures, and while they may not always show affection the way we expect, that doesn't mean they don't care. By paying attention to the subtle cues, you'll be able to foster a deeper, more trusting connection with your furry friend. Let's take a closer look at these signs and what they might really mean. Sign number 1, the silent treatment. One of the most common signs that your cat might not be feeling the love you expect is when they give you the silent treatment. You may call their name, reach out for a cuddle, or try to engage them in play, but instead of rushing over to greet you, they turn away, avoid eye contact, or even hide. This lack of interest or avoidance can be frustrating, especially when you've made an effort to bond with your cat. But what does this behavior really mean? Imagine coming home after a long day and you're eager to see your cat. You open the door, and instead of running to greet you, your cat stays curled up on their favorite perch, eyes half closed as if you aren't even there. You try calling their name, maybe even shaking a treat bag to get their attention, but they don't budge. It feels like a personal rejection, doesn't it? It's a familiar scenario for many cat owners where your cat's indifference feels like a sting, leaving you questioning what you did wrong. This kind of behavior can hit hard, especially when you've put in the time and effort to make your cat feel comfortable and loved. You've fed them, cleaned their litter box, played with them, and given them space when needed. But why does it seem like they don't want to interact? It's easy to take this personally, but the truth is, cats don't always show affection in the same way we expect. Their silent treatment isn't necessarily a sign that they don't love you, it's simply a form of communication. Cats are known for their subtle body language, and their refusal to interact or make eye contact can be a sign of emotional distance or discomfort. Unlike dogs, who often seek out affection from their owners, cats are more independent and sometimes prefer to keep their distance, even if they're not upset with you. When a cat avoids eye contact or hides, it's often their way of creating space and maintaining a sense of control over their environment. It's important to remember that cats are territorial creatures, and a lack of interaction might simply mean they're feeling overstimulated or just need time alone to recharge. Understanding this behavior can help ease any feelings of rejection and allow you to adjust how you approach your cat for more positive interactions. Sign number 2, aggressive or defensive behavior. When your cat swats at you, hisses, or even growls when you try to pet them, it can be a clear sign that they're not as affectionate as you may have hoped. This kind of behavior is often a defensive response, and while it can be shocking and hurtful, it's important to understand that it's a way for your cat to set boundaries or express discomfort. If a cat feels overwhelmed or threatened, even by a well-meaning gesture, they might react aggressively to protect themselves. Imagine you're sitting on the couch trying to give your cat a hug or a scratch behind the ears. At first, they seem to be enjoying it, purring softly as you pet them. But suddenly, without warning, they swipe at your hand with a sharp paw or hiss, and you quickly pull away, startled. Maybe they even growl or hiss in frustration when you try to pick them up. This sudden aggression can be deeply disappointing for an owner who's simply trying to show love. It's easy to wonder why your cat is reacting this way when all you want is a little affection. This type of behavior can make owners feel rejected or even unloved, especially after they've made the effort to bond with their cat. It's disheartening when a pet you care so much about seems to push you away. You may feel like you're failing in some way, or wonder why your cat doesn't want the affection you're offering. It's important to remember that a cat's aggression isn't necessarily a reflection of your relationship. It's often a sign that your cat is expressing something deeper, such as stress or discomfort. Aggression in cats is often linked to stress, discomfort, or territorial instincts. Cats are highly sensitive animals, and their environment can greatly influence their behavior. If a cat feels overstimulated or threatened, even by something as simple as being touched too much, they might resort to swatting or hissing as a way to protect their personal space. Additionally, cats are territorial creatures, and they may react defensively if they feel their territory is being encroached upon. This can happen when you try to hug them or get too close, even if you don't mean to. Understanding this defensive behavior can help you approach your cat with more patience and respect for their boundaries, ultimately improving your relationship with them.
Sign number 3. Lack of purring or nuzzling. When a cat doesn't purr or engage in physical affection, it might be a sign that they're not as emotionally attached as you might think. Purring and nuzzling are often seen as clear signs of love and comfort in cats. So, when these behaviors are missing, it can leave owners feeling uncertain about their cat's feelings. While some cats are naturally more independent and reserved, a lack of these affectionate actions could suggest emotional distance, or that your cat simply doesn't feel the same bond. Think about the last time you tried to pet your cat. There's usually that moment when they close their eyes and start purring, snuggling closer, showing you that they're content and at ease. Now imagine a different scenario. You try to cuddle your cat, but instead of purring or nuzzling, they stay still, unresponsive, and even seem a little tense. They might not even look at you, and after a few moments, they get up and walk away. The absence of those familiar signs of affection can be confusing and even hurtful. After all, when your cat isn't purring or nuzzling, it feels like they're emotionally shutting off from you. For many cat owners, the sound of a cat purring or the feel of them nuzzling up for affection is one of the most rewarding parts of the relationship. It's a deep emotional connection, and when that's not reciprocated, it can leave you questioning your bond with your furry friend. It's easy to feel rejected, like maybe your cat doesn't love you as much as you love them. The absence of these small, comforting gestures can feel like a punch to the heart, especially when you're offering them your time and affection. Purring in cats is often associated with contentment, comfort, and trust. When a cat purrs, it signals that they are relaxed and feel safe in their environment. It's also a way for cats to communicate with their owners, showing that they're happy and want to be close. Similarly, nuzzling is another way cats display affection. It's a form of bonding that's instinctive for many felines. If a cat isn't engaging in these behaviors, it could mean they're not feeling the same level of comfort, or that they're more emotionally distant. While some cats simply aren't as vocal or physically affectionate, a lack of purring and nuzzling can indicate that they're not feeling the same connection you are. Understanding this behavior is important in adjusting how you interact with your cat and can help foster a stronger bond based on their unique needs and comfort levels.
Sign number 4. No response to your voice. When your cat doesn't respond to your voice, it may seem like they're simply being aloof, but it can also signal emotional detachment. Unlike dogs, who are naturally inclined to respond to human voices, cats are much more independent and selective in how they interact with humans. If your cat ignores you when you call their name or doesn't seem to acknowledge your presence, it could indicate that they're not as emotionally connected as you thought, or they might not feel the need to engage with you at that moment. Picture this. You've just come home after a long day at work, and, like any good pet owner, you call your cat's name excitedly, hoping to be greeted with a happy meow or a soft purr. But instead, your cat stays lounging in their favorite spot, barely lifting their head in response. You try again, perhaps a little louder this time, and maybe even shake a treat bag, but there's no reaction. It's like you're invisible to them, and the lack of response feels like a silent rejection. For many owners, this indifference can be hurtful, as we often expect our cats to greet us with at least a little excitement or recognition. It's disappointing when you've invested so much time and care into your cat, but they don't respond the way you expect. You might even start wondering if they remember you or care at all. After all, cats are often seen as independent, but when you're the one they share a home with, you hope for a bit more recognition. Calling your cat's name with no response feels like you're being ignored by a close friend or family member. It can leave you questioning your bond and even feeling a little hurt. Cats don't respond to human voices in the same way dogs do. While dogs have been bred for companionship and are highly responsive to human cues, cats are more solitary animals that communicate with humans on their terms. A lack of response to your voice doesn't necessarily mean your cat is upset with you. It could simply be that they don't see the need to react. In fact, some studies have shown that cats are less likely to respond to their owner's voice because they don't perceive it as something requiring their attention. While this might seem like a sign of emotional detachment, it's actually a normal part of feline behavior. However, if this behavior becomes a consistent pattern, it might suggest that your cat is not as emotionally engaged or doesn't feel the same connection you're hoping for. Sign number 5, territorial and independent behavior. One of the most common signs that your cat may not feel the emotional attachment you expect is their territorial and independent behavior. Cats are naturally solitary creatures, and while they may enjoy companionship, they don't always seek it out. When a cat prefers to be alone, hides in a specific spot, or shows territorial behavior by refusing to share their space, it could mean that they don't see their owner as part of their inner circle. This kind of behavior can leave owners feeling rejected or excluded, especially when they want to spend time with their cat. Picture this. You've spent the day running errands, and you finally get the chance to sit down and relax. You spot your cat in their favorite spot on the couch or bed, so you approach hoping to cuddle up with them. But instead of welcoming you, your cat gives you a firm no. They retreat to a more private corner, curling up in a ball and avoiding your attempts to join them. Perhaps they even swat at you if you get too close, clearly marking their space as off limits. It's a behavior that can feel like a rejection, especially when you just want to share a quiet moment together. But in your cat's eyes, they're simply asserting their independence and their need for solitude. Cats are territorial and independent animals by nature. Unlike dogs, who have been bred to be pack animals and thrive on companionship, cats often prefer to manage their own space and maintain control over their environment. Retreating to a favorite spot and rejecting an invitation to cuddle is a normal expression of their need for personal space. This behavior doesn't mean your cat loves you less. It just means they are asserting their independence and need for alone time. Understanding this behavior can help you avoid taking it personally, and it's a good reminder that even though cats can be independent, they still rely on you for care and companionship when they're ready for it. Do any of these signs sound familiar? Maybe your cat gives you the silent treatment, or prefers to retreat to their favorite spot instead of snuggling with you. It can be tough to figure out what's going on in their little feline minds. We'd love to hear your experiences. How does your cat show love or doesn't? Let us know in the comments below. If you're enjoying this video and learning more about your cat's behavior, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to dive deeper into understanding your feline friend and strengthening your bond, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Your cat's emotions are more complex than they seem, and we're here to help you navigate them. So to recap, we've covered 5 surprising signs that might indicate your cat doesn't love you as much as you think. From the silent treatment, aggressive behaviors, and lack of purring, to ignoring your voice and seeking solitude, these signs highlight just how complex and nuanced cat behavior can be. Cats don't always express affection in ways we expect, and it can be easy to misinterpret their actions as rejection. But these behaviors don't mean your cat doesn't care. They simply communicate their emotions differently. It's important to remember that every cat is unique and their way of showing love can vary. Some cats are more independent, while others crave constant companionship. By understanding these signs and interpreting them in the context of your cat's personality, you can begin to strengthen your bond with them in a way that respects their boundaries and needs. So instead of feeling hurt when your cat shows indifference or seeks their own space, try to look at your relationship from a different perspective. The key is patience and understanding, and by tuning into your cat's subtle cues, you'll be able to deepen your connection and ensure that both of you are happy and comfortable together. Did you know your cat may not love you as much as you think? You're probably doing everything right, providing food, shelter, and playtime. But what if their actions are telling you something entirely different? Despite our best efforts to bond, some signs suggest that our cats might not feel the same way we do about them. So to recap, we've covered 5 surprising signs that might indicate your cat doesn't love you as much as you think. From the silent treatment, aggressive behaviors, and lack of purring, to ignoring your voice and seeking solitude, these signs highlight just how complex and nuanced cat behavior can be. Cats don't always express affection in ways we expect, and it can be easy to misinterpret their actions as rejection. But these behaviors don't mean your cat doesn't care. They simply communicate their emotions differently. It's important to remember that every cat is unique and their way of showing love can vary. Some cats are more independent, while others crave constant companionship. By understanding these signs and interpreting them in the context of your cat's personality, you can begin to strengthen your bond with them in a way that respects their boundaries and needs. So instead of feeling hurt when your cat shows indifference or seeks their own space, try to look at your relationship from a different perspective. The key is patience and understanding, and by tuning into your cat's subtle cues, you'll be able to deepen your connection and ensure that both of you are happy and comfortable together.